Have you ever searched for something incredibly simple online, like, I don't know, a basic pancake recipe or a quick troubleshooting tip, and you just hit this impenetrable wall of rambling robotic text? Well, welcome to this explainer on what's being called the Great Sloppification. We're going to break down exactly what artificial intelligence is doing to the internet right now, how tech giants are cashing in on it, and what it's actually costing us as human beings.
I really want you to think about this question for a second. As our digital spaces rapidly decay, will the open internet as we know it actually survive this AI flood? For decades, we looked at the web as this incredible, shared space for knowledge and culture. It was like the modern printing press. But recently, a fundamental, structural shift has happened right under our noses, and it might literally mean the end of that golden era of connectivity. You've definitely seen it, but now there's a highly accurate, if slightly gross, name for it. Slop. It perfectly captures that meaningless, machine-generated clickbait that's just taking over our feeds. It's kind of funny in a dark way, right? We used to just worry about spam clogging up our emails, but now Slop is actively suffocating our entire digital existence. It's the digital equivalent of empty calories, entirely designed to hijack your attention without offering a single ounce of real value. Just look at the sheer chaos of this era. This slop is absolutely everywhere. I mean, we're talking about bizarre AI images of a literal shrimp Jesus driving massive, unexplainable engagement on Facebook. We're seeing fake country music flooding Spotify just to game the royalty payouts. And on YouTube, automated channels are churning out vicious, completely fabricated celebrity death hoaxes. It's just an overwhelming tide of absolute nonsense. But here's the thing. It's not always just harmless trash meant to waste your time. This presents a literal life-or-death danger when unvetted AI slop replaces properly edited facts. Right now, on Amazon, you can find AI-generated mushroom foraging books offering completely incorrect information. They're actually suggesting people eat highly toxic mushrooms. Why? Because the algorithm doesn't know what a toxic mushroom is. It only knows what words mathematically tend to follow other words. When the internet's knowledge base gets poisoned by probability engines, the stakes become incredibly real. So, how did we get here? Let's rewind a bit. We started with the early, decentralized, hippie internet. It was built on values of open knowledge, weird little forums, and free sharing. But that is fundamentally degraded into what tech critics call platform decay. Big tech companies created walled gardens. They completely commercialized the space, locked users in so they couldn't easily leave, and now they're actively filling those captive spaces with AI spam just to keep you scrolling infinitely.
And this builds into a terrifying economy of scale. The barrier to entry to produce the slop is practically zero. A user writes a single prompt. Maybe it's a rumor about a German soccer league, or a fake story pushing localized political disinformation. Instantly, the AI fabricates all the backstory, all the details, and the hyper-realistic imagery. Boom! They capture engagement and outrage from millions of viewers in seconds, all from one single sentence.
You might be wondering, why on earth are the platforms letting this happen? Well, because they aren't victims of this slop. They're actively subsidizing it. The whole illusion of AI is ultimately a distraction from the real architects here, the tech giants themselves. When someone goes viral with a fake AI story, they get a tiny little payout, but the tech giants, they capture all the major financial value from your continued engagement. They are deliberately mining human creativity, feeding it through an algorithm, and hoarding the profits. And this dynamic is exactly why our primary tools for navigating the web are totally failing us. When it's one human-crafted article fighting against a million AI-generated articles pumped out every single hour, it makes perfect sense why search engines feel completely useless lately. I mean, you definitely know the feeling of having to add the word Reddit to the end of your Google search just to find a real human answer, right? But now even those community platforms are getting compromised. So what's the big fix for this broken experience? Search engines are slapping AI overviews at the very top of their results. But generative AI's real superpower is its ability to lie. It fundamentally cannot differentiate between true and false. It hallucinates. Think about the profound irony here. Google, the world's most sophisticated information engine, is deploying technology that literally cannot tell truth from fiction. We've seen it take satirical articles as literal fact and present wild conspiracy theories, like the false claim that Barack Obama is a Muslim president, as absolute, verified truth. To understand why we fall for this disinformation so easily, we have to talk about the ELIZA effect. Back in the 1960s, an MIT computer scientist built a super simple chatbot named ELIZA. It just mirrored user statements back to them as questions. But people immediately began pouring their hearts out to it. It highlighted this deep psychological tendency we have to project real human intelligence and empathy onto machines that can generate language. We just assume that because it speaks to us, it understands us. It's the ultimate illusion. And big tech absolutely banks on this psychological illusion. One AI executive actually admitted that their problem right now is they don't have enough AI-shaped holes to fill. It's genuinely baffling. Multi-billion-dollar companies are desperately trying to force AI into every email client, search bar, and social feed. Not because we asked for it, and definitely not because it solves a real user problem, but purely to justify their astronomical corporate valuations to impatient investors. They're trying to sell us the promise of artificial general intelligence, a machine as smart as a human. But an LLM, a large language model, is not a human brain that just needs to read more books. It is fundamentally a word-guessing machine. It's a highly sophisticated autocomplete. Throwing more processing power at an autocomplete program won't miraculously create hyperintelligence. It's like breeding faster and faster horses won't eventually birth a steam locomotive. It's a completely different mechanism.
When it comes to art and literature, the musician Nick Cave completely hit the nail on the head. He said, "Data doesn't suffer. ChatGPT has no inner being. True art requires a shared, transcendent experience. It requires overcoming human limitations and actually experiencing the friction of life. A machine that has endured nothing, felt nothing, and has no inner life, sure, it can mimic the structure of art, but it can never, ever achieve its soul."
All right, let's look under the hood. Tech CEOs love to talk about the autonomous magic of their algorithms, but what they purposefully gloss over is reinforcement learning from human feedback. That is very slick corporate jargon for a highly exploited, invisible human workforce. These are real people spending every single day manually sifting through the outputs of these bots, painstakingly telling the machine what is right, what is wrong, and what is safe. Brace yourself for this number. Currently, there are estimated to be up to 430 million data workers globally. Think about that for a second. That is a shadow workforce roughly the size of the entire population of the European Union. Millions of invisible people sitting behind screens in windowless rooms, constantly clicking mice to train the systems that big tech tries to pass off as seamless, autonomous magic. And here is the part that should just make your blood boil. While companies like OpenAI are valued in the staggering billions, and tech CEOs are treated like modern geniuses, the actual data workers training their models in places like Kenya are earning as little as $2 an hour. $2. They are doing incredibly meticulous, exhausting, and often deeply traumatizing work for absolute pennies on the dollar. Because the day-to-day reality of this job is profoundly grim. It's honestly heartbreaking to read testimonies from workers who are forced to spend up to 18 hours a day zooming in on images of dead bodies, drawing polygons around deep cuts and bullet wounds just to train the AI to recognize graphic content. They're subjected to this horrifying imagery for weeks on end, often with zero prior warning, no disclaimers, and absolutely no mental health support from the massive platforms employing them. So when you look at the true human cost, it's staggering. These invisible, deeply underpaid workers in the global south are the traumatized foundation of the entire AI industry. Think back to that meaningless slop we scroll past while waiting in line for coffee. That content was scrubbed clean by someone suffering through profound psychological trauma. They endure the darkest corners of human media just so massive corporations can safely flood the web. It's a profoundly exploitative cycle. Zooming out, when you put all these pieces together, the platform decay, the massive disinformation for profit, the stolen value, the horrific labor practices, generative AI starts to look like a massive shell game. It is a digital and environmental disaster. Training and running these models consumes immense amounts of electricity and water, requiring the energy of entire countries just to cool the server farms. Yet this massive physical toll is totally masked as a utopian fairy tale by tech billionaires pumping up their stock prices. But, it's not entirely hopeless. As this automation degrades the open web, we're actually seeing a fascinating counter-movement. Users are getting sick of the AI slop. They're actively rebelling against big tech's walled gardens. People are abandoning these decaying social media feeds and retreating to find real, authentic, human-to-human connections. They're moving to smaller, verifiable group chats, Discord servers, and local communities where they know for an absolute fact they are talking to a real, breathing person. Which brings us to a crossroads, really. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final thought to ponder. As our daily feeds continue to fill up with algorithmic trash and the Great Sloppification marches on, what's your choice going to be? Are you going to stay trapped in big tech's walled gardens consuming endless slop, or will you actively seek out the authentic human spaces left behind? Thanks for learning with me today. And seriously, go find those real human connections out there.